Hello, call me I am today with my very low elo. I'll be rating a game, reviewing a game myself. So
Grabbing the center, a textbook way of starting the game.
here e4 and grabs a lot of center while activating the queen and the bishop. E5 for black, it gets their own share of the center. The knight develops, getting some squares and attacking the pawn. The knight also develops, grabbing some squares and attacking and defending the pawn. Bishop b5 is the Ruy Lopez, which is practically this formation I show you. After here, it attacks the knight practically, uh, aiming to go for here. However, that does not work because of here. That's why lots of people who understand the Ruy Lopez simply just go bishop a4 and then back to b3 if they get attacked. The formation is this. Um, so practically it's like just, just simple way of saying this. Um, so just a very simple way. This is the this is the this is the format. Wait, what do you call it? You want to aim for when you play the Ruy Lopez. It's central. It's you move the knight, even though it might seem like a waste. You the knight here, here, here to activate it in in the king in the king side for black. Um. All right. This move distracts the opponent on the queen side because they think they have a good attack. Um. You might be wondering why mostly players after here they play c4 trying to attack the center, and might not look by much. However, you realize that it opens a space for the bishop right over here. Like, oh, my formation's gone. Oh well. Let's get back to reviewing. So this practically just attacks the knight. So this move um aims at the f7 pawn and also tries to cut off the king later on. Um, the this move practically does the same with fianchetto and also gathers the pieces and also develops with the pieces on it. So you know, c3 is a good way and the best and one of the best to practically grab the center. That's all the Ruy Lopez does. Try and grab the center and then for kingside attack. The reason why Stockfish recommends castle here is probably because honestly I don't know. Well, I guess it just wants to develop the rook. But we usually it's better to castle when an opponent attacks with knight 6 because after it takes here and then something like here you can take a free pawn with your knight and this would be very good for your position because you develop a rook in the opponent's half and also get your rook in the center. So that's why you castle when you play f3 and instead of just castling like right now. Alright, the point of h6 is to practically stop bishop g5 since you know Pride players want to want to develop their pieces without getting them pinned, which pinning is pretty annoying, which I'd say. But usually I would only play like h6 in case I play like any move that opens the bishop, because it's like a waste doing this. Also, you're ignoring this threat, which is very big threat. Trust me. The idea of this move is that when he takes, you take back and then have some very nice center control. You know, very nice, very nice. Opponent goes there. Apparently it's in castle. That's weird. Well, I like putting my pawns on the opponent's square, because sooner or later they might be helpful for the end game. Even though they might get blocked with another pawn, but it's fine. At least there's a pawn on the opponent's half. So my opponent goes here, also trying to achieve the same thing, getting a piece, not just a pawn, into my opponent's half. Apparently this is a mistake, because how could it be kicked out? Ooh, with castle. The idea of castle is to go rook e1, that's why here's a bad move. So I went here aiming for this, and also takes over here to make a very nice battery. My opponent went here, presumably to try and get rid of this knight, but yeah, probably just because it's one of the safest moves. But I went over here just because I can get I can try and suffocate my opponent, getting like a mini center, an attacking center or something, I don't know, in the opponent's half. These are some nice pawns, I know. I don't know if Stockfish doesn't like them. Pretty sure it loved them before. Maybe Stockfish, like, this version just hates it. So my opponent went here, obviously, hanging a knight, thinking, oh hey, I got a free pawn. Just count. My opponent went here. You can see the idea is to, oh, maybe he mouse flipped, but doesn't look like it. He wants to go here in case this knight moves to f1, I think, and also play f5, defend if I don't play captures. He just wants to go there and then defend this, which is very big threat. I castle, clearly only because I want to defend this f2 pawn. I'm thinking of ideas, pushing and getting a pawn. But I love to go here first so that I can get rid of this knight and then do my idea, because this knight also protects there. He castled, maybe just because I castled, mirroring. Well, this protects the f7 pawn of the rook, so like extra defense practically. I went rook e1 just because I want to do this. My opponent went rook e8, which is simple business. I went over here trying to complete my formation, also attack the knight, so that in case, so that I could win one of his double pawns in the future. He went over here to attack my knight, which is an alright move. The reason I wouldn't really play is because I can literally just play here. I can keep going with my attack and stuff. It's just And you don't have a bishop here, do you? Fianchetto. There's not much reason to make this move. I believe, like, attacking over here something might be a little bit better. Maybe over here, or maybe Stockfish recommends it. Well, I don't know. Those are just my ideas. Oh, my opponent went there for some reason. This is winning move. I'm not. Oh, that's the follow up. I see. So I took. Didn't think it would take with the queen actually, but it was also pretty nice on this idea. I thought a bit much. When he took with the queen, I got free tempo, so I used that. Developed my knight to the g3 square, completing the Ruy Lopez formation. Using my knights to attack the black king castles on the king side. You went here, presumably hoping in the future that his fianchetto b7 bishop would pin this knight or something. Or just future attack. I went over here thinking I could make a battery while I'll attack the queen. My opponent went here. Not sure the purpose of this move, probably because yeah, honestly I don't know, probably just to retreat the queen. I went over here, defending here. Which is like a checkmate for it, practically. My opponent went here, I retook, yes, alright. I also get an open file, which is why this move isn't so good either. My opponent, sorry. My opponent went here, stopping h7, which is a fine move for defending. I'm defending this, take. But I like to keep my knights on the board. I want rook e4, trying to go over here, pin, and then push his pawn. Simple idea. My opponent took because he wants his file, and he also friends another pawn in process. I'm over here going up with my idea. My opponent checked. Bishop here. No, my bishop is too valuable for the. They're here. It's just a blunder. Here I give up my queen. So here, my attack just diminishes. That's why I went knight f1, because this is a little bit of a useless knight. I just went here. And I might be pinned, but I still have a very nice attack. That's why my opponent resigned. Alright, thank you for watching. I hope you can learn something from me. But you probably shouldn't, because I'm 700 elo. I might be like higher elo in real board games, but whatever. Bye bye.